Hey Farway, morning Paul. Just getting started here. Trying to get the gloves on. It's almost midnight, but it's pretty muggy here. Hey Paul Lewis. So fortunately tonight I'm back in my more usual territory. Hey Peter Campbell. Working on PCs and more specifically Toshiba PCs. Seems to be something that I get quite a lot of around here. It won't last for too many more years because Toshiba stopped selling them around here, so now I'm mostly going to start getting Lenovo's. But anyway, let's see. Well, I'm going to get into this because it is getting late. So basically, this is a Toshiba C660, and it's come in. The customer's complaining that the USB external drive won't work, the mouse doesn't work, as in the touchpad doesn't work, the keyboard doesn't work. Well, I'm not sure if that's exactly true or not, but and then when I tested it, I plugged in things to the USB port, nothing comes up. There's no power at all showing on it. So hopefully we'll just have a fairly typical USB power failure. Maybe they plug something into it and fried it. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. The hardest thing on these, if it is, typically it's like either a fuse, although they don't really have fuses in these ones. What I mean, it's usually the high side switch on these for controlling the power to the USB ports. Now the big problem with the high side switches on these is that they have many different parameters and you have to get them right. It's not just like a MOSFET where you can have, as long as you've got the resistance right and the gate switch right, well that's okay. With these they're a little more complicated. Nazen Q, do you use a logic analyzer to know if a chip's working properly or not, or do you have any other simple way? Nope, I don't use a logic analyzer for this sort of thing. The only time I've ever used logic analyzer is actually when I'm doing development work, like I'm designing something to do work on. For fixing faults on laptops, I can't say I've ever actually done one. Mostly because you're either going to get data on the bus or you're not. Never really encountered that situation. It could also be just that I give up on those sort of faults. They tend to probably be not worth chasing. I prefer to keep my fault servicing down to more simple things perhaps. Dead MOSFET, well, yeah, I guess we'll see. Let's see if I can bring up the schematic. Well, first have a look at it. This laptop does smell a little bit funny, but I think it's more smoke than anything else. Anyway, let's have a look under the microscope, see if we can see anything. It's probably the easiest way before I power it up again. Yeah, the only trouble with these situations is compared to iPhones and such, these are massive. Yeah, where are my USB sockets? Well, my USB sockets are over here, so I might as well look over here. There we go. You're the Wi-Fi network. Yeah, no, it's just a lot of that equipment I find generally just doesn't really get used as much as what they try to make you think it should be used. Not for this sort of work, for repairs. Those look nasty, but I don't think they're really. Let's get the focus spot on. It's probably is alright. I really need to get better screens here. The screen I'm looking at is a good old Dell 17-inch 4.3 aspect 1280 1024. I mean, they're great monitors, but yeah. What's this? Where do you? You're a blow through. Oh, something got hot there, but on the other side. Oops, let's flip this over, have a look. No, it's awkward. Yep, I think I've spotted it already. There we go. That looks kind of suspicious. We got a little bit of a crater there. So something popped its guts. And I'm pretty sure that's the high side switch for the USB, because we've got the USB port right here. And we've got a high current bus path there and a 2 coming into here. So I'm going to guess that this is it, U24. Let's see if I can pull up the schematic. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And if that's the case, that's good, because I kind of need a early break tonight. I'm just going to bring up the schematic. I should have had this already prepared. Window capture. This is probably going to be a little bit small to see, but what are we looking for? U42. U42. Doesn't look right. Doesn't look right. That looks right. Can you zoom in? Here we go. And it's a G5. That does not look like a proper part number. Alright. But it is the USB switch, so that is, we've got a hole in this particular part, which makes sense. Someone plugged a fan in it. They probably did something like that. Let's see. Now this is what I was talking about, the high side switch has been a pain. First part of it, you've got these configurations like in and out, so it's 2 to 3. You've got a enable here, and that's a active low enable. You got a flag output here, and that will be like USB overcurrent. That's right. So that's fine. Now the trouble is, do I have another one of these chips? That's going to be fun. I can't exactly find one of those off the shelf. Yeah. So let me see. Let's see. I'll just neutralize you. Switch back to that. Push this out of the way. See if I did get some boards ready just in case. These are some trashy old boards. What do we got? 4981. Let's have a look at its USB areas. We've got a combo port there. Have a look at that. Hey, you're catching on there. What are you? Looks like I've been scratching at it in the past as well. I was probably looking for the same thing. What is that? Is that a RT9711? Let's see if we can Google for something like that. RT9711, high side switch, PDF. Rictech Technology. Yeah, well, what do you know? I think we got lucky here. Let me see if I can add this in. You don't very often get lucky like this. Normally nothing matches. So, save, link as, no, cancel. Sorry, I'm just trying to download the schematic. Save, alright. And what did I do with my PDF reader? There. Alright, let's activate that. Nope, 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 nope. That's it. By the way, I am making myself a custom hotkey switch thing for Open Broadcaster so that I can just press buttons on the keyboard or whatever and it'll switch scenes and things like that. Alright, so here we go. So this is the SO8 version. And as you can see, we've got ground, that matches up. So like if we have a look over here. So we've got ground, 2 ins and a active low enable. We've got ground, 2 ins, active low enable, 3 V outs. Now the only thing here is that flag is not set to active low, whereas this is, and that's going to be a problem if they aren't the same, because what it'll mean is it'll indicate a different state. So when it's trying to say I'm over current, it will actually be thinking it's low current. How did that full HD touch display end up? Firephone, can you give me more background on that? My way that to 3:30. I'm waiting for parts. That will actually be tomorrow. I might do another live stream for that. Alright. USB overcurrent 0. Just trying to see how they structure this one. So it's got straight in GPIX. Okay, it's got to pull up. It's got to pull up, so that would tend to imply that it probably is active low, because you wouldn't have something pulling up a bus and then you trying to drive it high to indicate there's a fault. You would tend to, in this sort of situation, that configuration, you have the component pull down the bus to indicate a situation. So I'd say that should be good. It could be that they just left out, although, I mean, they've got it here. The hash after the EN tends to indicate that it's active low. We've got another one. No, it's different. I'll say we have a shot at it. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? Blow up. Fortunately, I've got a couple of these. I've got a couple of these machines floating around, so I can always change it with one of my own boards. Alright, let's get this thing off. Now, if these boards really got to push the temperature up, I found usually around about 460 and 75% on this particular machine. The nice thing is I don't have to use the microscope for this. I can use my own eyeballs, but then again you guys can't see, so I guess we'll bring it back. This is the one time that having a 0.5 Barlow might be useful, but for the most part I prefer the 0.7. Alright, there we go. Hey, Cormac. I didn't see you in there. Rick Tech and Englishman. Hot and humid Brazil, yep. It's similar here in Australia. I'm going to orientate this so I can get the hot air on it. This is going to stink a bit because I can see there's lots of this hair and stuff floating around. Yeah, the nozzle's a little small. Let's find a pair of tweezers I can abuse. For as much as I get iPhones in here to repair, I really do genuinely prefer to work on laptop mainboards like MacBooks and PCs. iPhone stuff is more out of a necessity, or just out of the fact that it comes into my door. I'm kind of cheating here. There's going to be some fat ground planes on here and I'm just brute forcing this. Come on, there you go. Alright, that is the scrap one. Holy crap, my chair just broke. My chair just broke. Oh my god. Rightio. Looks like I'm going to have to buy a new chair. That was interesting. I cannot lean across now. Where did that part go? Oh, there it is. That was almost comical. Okay. Yeah, Rick Tech, I'm guessing by the fact that it's on a pull-up bus, or a bus that's been actively pulled up, I would say it is active low. I suppose you like to just double check these things sometimes, but I'm taking the gamble. I'd be surprised if it's not. I mean, I can't imagine them designing it otherwise, that way. I'm really at the wrong angle for this. The other nice thing about laptops is you can punish the hell out of them. Particularly PC ones. I will be upgrading to a quick. I'm just waiting for Lewis to get stock of his, and they're going to be in 220 volt version. And then I'll get him to send one over. Come on. What are you doing? This nozzle's a bit small for the job. So you're starting to melt that capacitor a bit. Okay, you're out of there. Yeah. It's starting to stink with all the old stuff. Textralian, yes, fellow night owl. I've been trying to be good lately, but I do admit I tend to revert back to the night owl tendencies. Thank you, Hacko. Thank you, yes. I'm going to put the extractor on. What am I trying to do? I was trying to put Vaseline on instead of alcohol until I'm a little asleep. Another nice thing about PC circuit boards is they generally have the markings on there to let you know which way things go. Yeah, Stranger Things coming in this week. It's going to be good. I hope so. Where did I put the... Yeah, that was nice and easy. Much easier than doing stuff on iPhones. Plenty of space to work on. Plenty of tolerance for newbie mistakes like I make. Okay. Acer E5. Oh, that one. Ancient ago. I never got the right display for that. I need to get it from, what is it? Finco, I think it was. Well, I guess we're sort of... Theoretically, I probably should see 5 volts out of it. Well, certainly I should get it on the standby side. Yeah, I'm just going to find a Toshiba plug pack now, of which I usually have a million around in this workshop. Don't lean. As I definitely got to buy myself a new chair. Seriously? What are you? You look like an Asus. Yep, that'll do. Asus or Toshiba. Both the same. I should really just have it hooked up to my DC power supply and have a octopus lead with all the various laptop connectors on it. Well, it didn't go bang, so that's a good start. Amazon ships someone in the US a little extra in her order of a couple of storage mids. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, yeah. We've got a couple of electric fences around here. You guys aren't going to be able to see that. I'm sorry. And I never ended up bothering with the ABS version. What have I got here? Okay, I got 5.1 on one side, 0 on the other, which I suppose is technically correct since it's not on. And probably the easiest way for me to show that these things are on is to just get a USB power dongle thing. What? You could just put an LED on this, but we'll go for the power dongle instead. So I might switch away from the Oh, 65 pounds of pot wound up in a holder. Whoops. That's a bit unfortunate for them. A lot of crappy satellites you got there. What goes first in the Toshibas? Oh, well, anyway, I just noticed we do have a green light on the outside, so that's good. With Toshibas, really, I more find... I'm trying to think what usually goes on them. Not a lot, to be honest. HPs are just terrible for many things. As long as you don't get the overly fancy ones with the GPUs in them. And I'm trying to think what I'm trying to do here. Oh, I need to work out how to turn this thing on without using the... Let's see. Alright. So I need to find something like on-off. Nope. Off BTN. Thank you very much. I knew I'd find it one way or another. Let's just keep finding it. Here we go. We just need to pull pin 1 down and it should come up. But of course the next question is, where was that keyboard connector? I think it's up here. What's that jumper connector? J-power. J-touch. J-speaker. J-fan. Come on, seriously, where's J-power? Ah, J-power. And according to the indicator there, which one's ground? Suspecting pin 2. No. At the end. Okay, we've got power up. And we have got USB power. Yeah, we can tell because that's coming out and it's showing 5.15 volts. Captain tape's going well there. There we go, beautiful. So that's pretty good. That would tend to indicate that's working. Let's see if I can make it boot by putting a Linux boot. Yeah, this will work. Yeah, no one cares about that. Okay, well it's flashing, so it must be accessing. Alright. Well, I suppose we could either... Do you want me to build this back up now, or you guys had enough? As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty much fixed. Building it's just a little boring. I thought you guys would be sick of that. Hey, fixing things? What are you doing? Oh, you're just wasting hot air there. Build it. You're just saying that because you arrived late. I need to attach this to me somehow. Somewhere that's not going to cause me grief every 10 seconds. Yeah, Greg, I was very, very lucky actually because I've had to deal with those high side switches before, and so many times I would think I've got a replacement, and then there was either a pin that's not right, or one of the polarities aren't right, as in the active low or active high, or the current rating wasn't good enough. So the fact that I actually got that first shot, I think that's a little lucky. Man, this is disgusting, man. ACD says finish it. Alright. Come on. The hot air's gotta be... It's gotta switch off any second. There we go, yep. Thank you. Okay, where's that main board? What did I just do with the main board? Oh, there it is. That chucking noise is that chuck, 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 chuck that you could just hear in the background if you did. It's geckos on the wall. Nasty little things. They just crap over everything in this house. I suppose it would be responsible of me to change this CMOS battery out, BIOS battery, whatever you want to call it. It's probably a good idea that I am putting it back together now, so I don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, I can't remember where the screws go, even though I should with these ones. I do like working on these Toshibas because it's kind of like working on an old car, and you've got so much space to move around. And like, I used to have a 1972, I think it was, or 1973 Ford Escort, an old, I think it was a 1300, and I could, when I was young and thinner, I could pretty much step into the side of the engine bay to work on the engine. It was a little bit cramped, but the point is I could still fit in there. I lost my eyebrows to that car. That was fun. Alright, I'm just going to get another battery, CMOS battery. Bug A salt. Well, I've got the cats. The cats tend to eat them. Not that I fully approve of that, primarily because the geckos carry a worm in them, a parasitic worm. In fact, most of the critters around here do. And the local vets call it the zipper worm. It's it's kind of like a supersized variant of a worm that they're normally used to for pets getting, but for some reason around this region, it's really supersized. It's ridiculous. And anyway, it messes up the animals a bit if you don't get it under control. And unfortunately, with them constantly catching geckos and things like that, you got to keep them wormed. I mean, we already do, but then to control this particular worm, you've got to go a few extra steps. Where is my? I'll just use this one. It's not really the right screwdriver for this, but no well. What you gonna do? I think that's the only one that's on this board. I suppose I should make sure that it boots in its state there with the screen. Make sure I haven't blown anything up. Trying not to lean over because this chair will collapse on me. It's great. Must have realised I was starting to save up money and it decided it's about time we took money off Paul. Okay, we're going to see this. This should come up your bum too. Hey, Bobby. Greg, yep, you got it, Greg. Well, close enough to that anyway. Let's see, what's that? That's number 3. Checksum bad. Oh, shock horror. Keyboard works. That keyboard works, which means USB is working, obviously. Yeah, it's good. What happened is the 1300 Escort, it had I think it was a 28 or maybe a 32mm Stromberg downdraft single port on the engine, and I wanted more oomph out of it, so I put a dual downdraft Weber 32mm, and it just flooded the engine bay, and so I was sitting there and trying to convince it to start, and I was looking down those dual downdraft ports, and then all of a sudden, yeah, sure enough, it blew back. I was happy I could see afterwards. I looked a little comical, but I could see, and that's what matters. Wrong one. Let's see. And mouse is working. And CPU temperature is only 33, so that's good, considering it's about 29 degrees right now. Fan's not even running. Excellent. Yeah, I'm in shorts. It's too warm. Do I have wildlife around property? Yes, we have kangaroos, no shortage of snakes, wallabies, which are like kangaroos, echidnas, which are kind of like porcupine, not really porcupines, but similar enough. Lots of lizards, snakes again, as always, kookaburras, galahs, cockatoos, lots and lots of birds. Yeah, plenty of them. Quokkas even, which are like little miniature kangaroo. They're like about this big. They're cute as. We've got things that look like rats, but they're marsupials, and by God, they've got some sharp teeth. I was trying to rescue one that got into the house because I think the cats brought it in. And with mice and stuff, you grab them, they'll try to bite, but yeah, they won't do much. But these things have got like 10 or 20 super sharp needle-like teeth, and they just went poof, straight through my finger. Well, when I say through, I mean through the skin. And so I had to go off and get tetanus shots the next day. But we got owls as well through the night. So yeah, there's plenty of good wildlife here. If you look around, lots of interesting insects as well. Alright, this is working, so shut this down. I should be able to power the button off. I said power the button. There we go. Working all night on a desktop that will not take the new Windows 10 Creator update. the update hosed everything. Whoa, what happened to that? Mic is quite loud today. No, you're right. It's pushing probably around about 10 dB, which is yeah, that's a little loud. Yeah, that should be a little bit better. Hey, Penov. Oh, you were the one who said it. Oh, fixing things. Oh my god. Yeah, just have to go and drag it into the gutter. Good on you, mate. Okay, so at least we know we can put this back together and it should be okay. I was going to throw all those laptops away as well, incidentally. I thought, no, I probably don't service them much anymore. It's a good thing I didn't. Well, that's kind of a bad thing in some ways, because now it just turns me into a hoarder. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot hard to put these FPCs back in when you've got gloves on. There we go. The motherboard that I took it off, I think that came from a... Actually, what did that come from? Well, don't lean. God damn. I'm not sure what laptop this came from. It looks like it's been bent, the laptop. You can have a look at that. See the... So, whatever... And it's even got a... I think these are MXM graphics card modules when they were trying to make laptops upgradable, which is kind of pointless. It's a bit like trying to make cell phones upgradable. There's no real point. Which makes me laugh whenever I see the modular cell phones. I mean, it's an interesting concept, but at the end of the day, people are just going to want to upgrade to the next model no matter what. Other than a few dedicated people. Let's see. Model number. I can't find a model number on this. Oh, yes, I can. There we go. This is a LA4981P. So it's a Compal board, probably. Anyway, we got lucky. I'm not looking that gift horse in the mouth. Don't lose the screw down there. Dear God. I do miss how easy these laptops are to work on. Though I have noticed lately that they are improving now on the rear clamshell, rear shell type laptops, where you can just pull the whole bottom off it, and the circuit board is actually held underneath the keyboard area. So that it makes them a bit easier to work on, but I do still prefer this bathtub model. Typically because it tends to imply that the keyboard's going to be easy to replace, whereas the new styles that they're coming out with usually means that the keyboard is part of the top deck, and because it's part of the top deck, it costs a hell of a lot more to replace it, whereas these ones are like $20 to replace. I'm using the wrong screwdriver here, by the way, but it will suffice. Oh, in case you're wondering, I am basically making the assumption that the keyboard and touchpad run off the USB bus. That's my theory. I'm probably going to find out real soon if that's true. You can sell these motherboards that are defected, or you have a local sell. Yeah, I probably could sell them on eBay. The only trouble is, I find it's just not worth it in terms of the time and effort and things like that. And then half the time you get people scamming you anyway. They come back and say, "Oh man," yeah, even if you send them a dud board and you actually list it as a dud board, you'll get people that will claim that it's a dud board to eBay, dudder than it should have been, and some people get their money back. It's like, you're kidding. It's true. Whoa, you are not the right screw. Get out. Get out. Ah, oh, damn. Looking for magnets. Hey, Joshua. Oh, well, let's... You're not coming out? You're not coming out. Great. Let's see if this keyboard and mouse actually do work now, since that is what I should have done. It is entirely possible, though, that when the person said keyboard and mouse not working, they were referring to their external keyboard and mouse. That would be a laugh. Because I do have one. I've got this little doobidacker. Now, an easy way to tell is I got no screen. Why do I have no screen now that I put the... Oh no, it was just... No, maybe that's why. Two to set up. What do we got? 013. Oops. And we're the 24th of October. Wrong way. Do you use Android for personal phone or iOS? In terms of phones, I actually use both. I know it sounds a little weird, but it's true. I have an iPhone 6S Plus, I have an iPhone 5S, I have an iPhone 6, and I have a... what do I got? This, and that's interesting. I'm not picking up... It's there, but it's not picking up... this is an Xperia Z. I got this for about $50 quite a few years ago. Weird, it's not showing any USB boot option. Why not? No, I hope it didn't just blow again. But it is flashing, or was flashing. Legacy is on. It's accessing that. Weird, it just doesn't give it to me as a boot option. You did just before. I mean, you saw before we booted to the... Unless I damage this? So, surely not. Oh. I've got another one I'll try. Somewhere. Nope, not you guys. Okay, well, I've got one called Sys Rescue. Oh, that chair is going to kill me if I'm not careful. Yeah, it's definitely stopped. It's just giving me LAN and nothing else. What the heck's going on here? Let's pick that up later. Yeah, it's the same USB port. It's the only USB ports on it. There's just the two. And the port is functioning in terms of it's powering up, whereas before it wouldn't. It's interesting, it just shut. Now it's back. It shouldn't be taking this long to boot. So yeah, just flash there to indicate it. And it keeps forgetting its CMOS data. It's not right. Yeah, it's completely forgotten it. Something else is wrong here. What a pain in the posterior. More to the fact because it was working fine. Clearly this doesn't want me to go to sleep. Measure the voltage on that. .3. It's perfectly good, that one. I'm wondering if something, whatever took out the USB, did a lot more damage elsewhere. It's still strange though. Let's try it without the keyboard again. It's entire... yeah, who knows. I think the reason why it's slow on the boot is because of the fact that it's forgetting the CMOS settings. Still doesn't show the USB as a boot. Let's see. Defaults. Now it has. Wonder what's going on there. Bad PCH? I sincerely hope not. I think I did originally when I took it out when I first was testing it. Yeah, well that's up there. So power off. And we'll put the keyboard back in and see what happens. So it's entirely possible the keyboard could be... It could be that they got something wet in it. It smells like... hate to say it smells like cigarette smoke. Okay, I won't even screw it down yet. Move bit by bit. Hate it when these things start happening. And then of course you wonder whether you should risk giving it back to the client. And the boot up's normal speed this time. No, that worked. Keyboard's working. Yeah. Okay, let's try screw keyboard down and see what happens. Ah. Fortunately, I am getting paid a reasonable amount to do this particular one. I told him it's worth, yeah, the cost is, I said, it's more than what the laptop itself is actually going to buy if you buy one second hand. But I suppose for some people it's a convenience factor of like, well, at least everything is as it was and I can get straight back to work. Boot speed was normal. Wonder if maybe the CMOS battery wasn't sitting in quite properly. Maybe I had a bit of grime on the... No, that's fine. Maybe I had a bit of grime on the... Alright, let's start loading her up. Still haven't got that damn screw out that I'm left in there. There is no... there's no nut on that side. That's not good. Still can't beat MacBooks for ease of getting access. if all the parts arrive tomorrow that I'm expecting, then I should be able to have a shot at that 820-2330 tomorrow. And that'll be around about lunchtime or maybe a bit later. But then it depends on how busy things are. So, no, you need to be an 8. It bothers me that nut's missing. Because that means then that hinge area is weak, which means if the person gets a little too aggressive with it, it can pop the hinge. But I suppose given the age of the machine and the fact they haven't yet done it, gives me some hope. Now, why have I got 3 screws left over? That's not good. Oh, there's one. I know one's from the hinge. I've obviously missed something somewhere. Oh, I know why. It's because I put the excess one in here. Come on. Come on. I don't like using my tweezers for this. Come on. And we got it. Just a stack of magnets from far too many years. Alright, that's all the all the screws accounted for. Where's our power brick? No, that's right. Is this core too good? No, this is oh, actually, it might be. They're just classified as a Pentium, so I'm not real sure. Sorry, I'm just going to have to tilt that off to the side. Dry joints on the USB terminals, that is possible. Yeah, fortunately all the screws are the same length. Yeah, I've yet to do a long screw damage phone. I did contact someone. No, that's good. I did contact someone who had reported that they had long screw damage I'd say about a year and a bit ago. And I messaged him and said, do you still have that long screw damage phone? Because if you do, then I'd like to, if you want me to, I can try work on it. And they said, yeah, sure, we'll bring it around. And that was about a month or 2 ago. And I still haven't seen him. So I'm going to assume that they don't really want to do anything with it. Just going to try boot into Ubuntu, and then what I'm going to do is activate the administrator account in this instance. There we go. You've got some. How are you fixing things? I mean, I guess what I would ask first is it one that matters if it succeeds or fails? I mean, preferably, it probably will fail the first time, or 2 or 3 times. What's the time now? 12:30. How long has the stream been going for? It's just over an hour now. Alright. What I'll be doing here is activating the administrator account via Ubuntu for Windows, which is something I do quite a lot of. And let's see, Windows is position SDA2. Windows System 32 config SAM/ch and T password SAM. Unlock. Yes. That's it. And when we go back into Windows, we should have administrator account. Some motherboards to practice on. Well, PC laptops, I don't need any of that. Got plenty of those and got plenty of work already with them in the past. But iPhone ones, I do have a fair few. But most of the ones I've got, they're things like extreme water damage or PMIC failures or RAM failures, things like that. I don't have any actual long screw damage ones. Okay, administrator, thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of different boot sticks you can use. I use this one myself because it's got all my other utilities on it, my data recovery utilities, my iPhone recovery utilities, all those sort of things. Oh, okay, Mike. Yeah, the laptop wasn't working, the USB was dead, we had no power, and this is not going to show because I've got fixed focus on. I will bring the microscope around just so I can show. Come on. Okay. Switch. Maybe that's just a little bit bright. That might be a better choice. Yeah, you can see why that one died. Just push it up a little bit. Nice little hole in it. Alright, the Wi-Fi is all working. This laptop is full of junk. Like McAfee? Seriously? Someone's left McAfee on here? My god, I cannot let that happen. It's not the McAfee commercial purchase one. It's the one that Adobe and whatnot like to slip you. Little security scan plus. The plywood, yep, that's my extractor. Speaking of which, I got my noise reduction foam. That's the stuff. and I will be building an extension to the extractor so that I can cut the noise down a bit more. Okay. Get this microscope out of the way now that you've all had a great big glory look at the hole. It's okay, enough pervin on the hole in the MOSFET. Not the MOSFET, although it does have MOSFET in it. It's just that that's not what its entire what it entirely is. It's only just part of it. Come on, let's see if this. Okay, it's picking up the USB keyboard mat. There we go. That's fine. Let's see what horrors these people have. So we mute this. I don't think I can. No. Sorry, guys. There we go. MS config. Yeah. One thing I love about McAfee, I'm being sarcastic here, is just how many damn services it's got to run. Is that really Skype updater? Come on. iTunes doesn't have to run. By the way, I already know this customer well enough to know what they do and do not need running. Quick menu doesn't need to run. Yep, that'll do. Restart. Well, it looks like this laptop's good to go. So I'll run it, check it in the morning, but I think it'll be good. Glory. Figured out tonight, you can't use the 6S Plus in a 6 Plus, even though they share the same connector. Oh, where's that fixing things? CPU starts to cook. That's kind of weird. I'm on the wrong keyboard to do any sort of speed typing. I need my IBM keyboard to do that. You want to see speed typing? I'll do it on my IBM, but not on laptop keyboards. Laptop keyboards suck. I nearly bought myself a new mechanical keyboard today, an IKBC 104, but I restrained myself and said, no, the IBM's still good. Thank you very much, Windows. But I must admit, I would like to put a mechanical keyboard to replace this, because this is a wireless Logitech, and it just feels... It works, but it's junk for typing on every day. Yeah, auto runs is the other thing that I use a lot. Auto runs I find particularly good for digging things out of the schedule section. I mean, the services and the startups I can handle, you through MS config. But for getting stuff out of the scheduler, definitely auto runs. We will... What are we going to run? 7-day. I should run SFC on this. And then a check disk. Actually, I might just do a check disk first. There's one thing I would pay money for or fund, is if someone could write a replacement for check disk that will run in Linux. Because the number of times that I have tried to work on a data recovery job with Windows, trying to get it to boot or whatever, and it won't because the drive is marked as unclean and it needs to have check disk run on it. But it's not healthy enough for me to be able to boot it, to run check disk. Now I can plug it into another Windows machine, but sometimes I just don't want to do that for just contamination issues, if there are viruses that I'm worried about, things like that. It just would be nice as if I could do it as a standalone boot USB stick, have a check disk that works like the Microsoft one. There are things that you can do in Linux to check the NTFS petitions and all that, but there really isn't a replacement for the actual check disk program. Format C, yeah. Yeah, Cormac, normally I'm the same as you. I normally hated them, but I will say, um, for in the workshop when I'm just plugging into PCs and things like testing machines, and I don't want to touch the person's keyboard. These Logitech, I think these are MK220s or just M220s. I think they are K220. They're like cheap. They work really well, no troubles, and they don't give you any grief. So I've got about 7 or 8 of those around the place. They don't clash with each other. They're really good cheap wireless keyboard to have for doing diagnostic type work. Don't use CCleaner. Oh God, no. I see CCleaner on so many machines, and it does have some nice things on it, but it seems overall people find a way to completely mangle their system with that, like destroying the regedit or registry. So for me, it's mostly ESET NOD32, malware bytes, and then just check disk, SFC, and maybe DISM if I have to. What is it about keyboards that no one wants to touch them? Well, like this one smells a little funny. Yeah, there's stuff that you see on if you start pulling off these keys and you see what's beneath them, it's just hideous. Yeah, my cat lock isn't coming up, probably because it's in the middle of check disking. I just start again once you've been hit with malware. It's hard to get rid of. It can be. I had one the other day that was like peeling an onion. I had to progressively go layer by layer. Whatever it was had replaced the driver for the network card itself, and so every time, pardon me, it would basically just reload itself every time you got anywhere near the internet. So I ended up having to do an offline scan by using a ESET NOD32 boot disk that does the scanning. That was enough to knock out the problem there, and then I had to come in and strip it. Yeah, took me ages. Alright, we don't need to imagine what's been sprayed on these keyboards. If you clean this keyboard, 99% will not work afterward. Yep, that's the other thing. You got to, as soon as you get moisture in there, all that dust and grime sort of wicks into the membranes, and that's it, the end. You gotta wonder what is on the keyboard when the password. What? Yeah, you do. It could be a bird lover, and they wonder, maybe they're like the tip birds. Hey, Roger. This is just going to run and do its own thing, so I'm done. It's, like I said, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I need to go get my Wheat Bix and banana and whatever else I can stuff in my craw and go to sleep. And hopefully tomorrow the replacement op amp for the 820-233-0 turns up, and assuming that's what's at fault, and if I replace that, hopefully then the laptop should come up all good and fine. And if it doesn't, I've got the MOSFETs that are also in that one wire circuit to try and replace them. And if that still doesn't work, then I'll have to resort to the Lewis Rossmann hack fix. And doing the hack fix is perfectly fine if you're doing it for yourself, but if you're giving it to a customer, then it's not really a good thing to do. And I mean, he knows that anyway. That's why he doesn't really tell anyone to do it unless he's assuming they know what they're doing, or he wants them to burn their house down. I don't know. Yeah, this is going to take forever. Yeah, live USB is very handy. Paul, have you worked crypto viruses? I have had a couple of customers in this town who have been struck with the crypto virus, and it really is pretty much game over. The only thing I've found is if you hold onto their hard drive for a couple of years, just check periodically with the sites that provide unlocked crypto solutions. Like basically, after they manage to break down the network, sometimes they can get the unlock keys and try your luck. Other than that, there's no way really out of it other than paying, because they do the cryptos good on that. They double crypt it. So even if you do, by pure luck, happen to decrypt the first time and get it right, you won't know because all you look at is more encrypted data. So, alright, that's it. I'm out of here. It's booting. It's booting. It's fine. Anyway, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow when I'm working on the MacBook. Until then, take care. I'll catch you later.